with the process of yes, things start to move swiftly. And some of us might begin to run from the yes we've given God when we accepted the calling that God presented to us. Don't run. Just let God work, because it's all a part of the process. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Ellipsis podcast. I am your host, Deja Terry, and today we're going to be talking about the process of yes, embracing your crown and accepting the shift. When you say yes, you are telling God you accept your battle crown to represent his kingdom, to become a king and queen who leads a village of people out of the mirages of this world. You volunteer as tribute and you accept the responsibility of saving souls however God asks of you to do it. You move on command, you walk in dominion, you identify who's on your boat and who needs to get off. Some of us might run and delay our yes because we see financially some of the things we need to begin are too expensive, or we don't have the credentials, or we say, it's not perfect, God, I need it to be perfect. Or, God, that's too big, get at somebody else. You find every excuse in the book to let it go. So let me put into an analogy for you. And this is one of my absolute favorite movies of all time, The Princess Diaries. And do you remember when Amelia Mignonette, Phonopolis Fernaldi, Princess of Genovia, found out she was princess? You know I had to say the whole name. She found out she was a princess and she hid it. She ran from it, denied it, shook it off like it was nothing, and even said, I don't want it. See, the people that are given crowns never want them. We have to speak differently, think differently, move differently, see differently, dress differently, seek answers differently, and that takes effort. It takes leaving old habits, leaving relationships, leaving jobs, leaving family, moving to a different place you've never been before, losing friends, and being open to gain new ones. It takes being open and it takes letting go. Because you want to give God the room, and he wants the room to place the new into your life that suits the crown that you've been given, that suits the yes that you have given. It takes jumping off of a cliff that you can't see and embracing the feeling of falling, not knowing you have a parachute on your back. Understand what I'm saying? It's removing ourselves from the mental holes that this world tries to distract us with to get us comfortable with being stuck, so that he can try and hold us in the cycle of a world that the enemy thinks he has control of to keep us from changing it. And sometimes, out of fear, we go back to what we didn't realize was comfort, where everything was easy, we were taken care of and had everything, and or there was no attention on us, there was no eyes on us, there was nobody to give us accountability. And it wasn't the best place, but there was no chaos. Realize that stepping into chaos with the kingdom is where the real warriors are. It's the dauntless and divergent, if you will. That's where the real battle is, and where you see God in action in all ways. The kings and queens who fight on the battlefield are equipped with training and gear that prepares them for the fight. And until you've given your yes, you can't get into the chaos on the field unless you're moving and taking action. When you give your yes, you receive your battle crown. And not everybody can wear it. You only receive it when you're ready to receive it. But remember, when you put it on, the radar above your head is going to go off. And you're going to be seen by fellow queens and kings. But you're also going to be seen by the enemy more than ever before. Because now, you're a threat. And when you wear the crown of yes, understand that that is when you enter the battlefield. So be very sure that when you say yes to what God has for you, you mean it. Because there is no turning back after that. You're held to a higher standard because now you have to lead. But don't think you don't have backup. When you say yes, God sends angels that walk with you, and they are commanded into action to go before you and beyond you to get into position for the new things and the attacks that are being prepared to come your way, not only out on the field, but in your personal life. And see, what happens is when you say yes, the mirages begin to fade, and you are given eyes that see in authority and can now see further and in more detail than before. God reveals to you the people who surround you, and you can now see clearly and identify who's who. You can now see clearly who's in your boat and who needs to get off. When you put on the crown of yes, you can't have everyone in your queens and kings court. So God gives you the ability to recognize who's around you and who has been given the crown of yes, so that you may begin to move and sync together. And this could be a spouse, it could be a group of friends, it could be anybody. But depending on when you said yes to the call that God has put on your life, if you delayed it for some time, some of the lessons that you had to learn, people you had to meet, places that you needed to go, bridges you needed to make, and bridges that you needed to burn, get crunched into a shorter period of time where it feels like you're being tossed in the ocean by this huge, consistent current. And this is a part of the process that's called the molding. He's molding you for the arena you're walking into. He's molding you to conquer certain attacks. He's giving you lessons to be able to train you for what's coming. And when you put on your crown, your ideas and your creativity begin to multiply. And you begin to receive ideas that you never thought of, because now you're tuning out all the noise and all you hear is God's voice, because you've put on the crown of yes. All of your abilities are heightened. You see clearer, you hear better, you move quicker, you swing faster, you dodge quicker, you pray differently. And I cannot stress this enough, and I'm going to say it again. You have to understand that you're on two radars. And because you've accepted that main assignment that God has presented you with, you are a threat. So the enemy sends all that he has to knock you down. He'll send people you trusted. He'll send situations you've beaten before back into your life to tempt you again. He'll bring up old feelings of depression, anger, bitterness, lust. He'll even send people you love and care for after you, just so you'll take off that crown. And unless you're working on a king and queen mindset, you won't be prepared. You won't see it for what it truly is. You won't fight it, and you'll fall backward. So see the situations in the battle for what it is. Don't fall back to the levels that you've conquered. You're about to step into a new thing. Be prepared to fight. Be sure about your yes. Understand why you're here. Understand beyond the distractions what you're really here to do. Assess your boat. Assess your boat. Assess your boat. Because you'll need room to carry the weapons God is going to give you for your fight. Bury all the games, because this is war. There's no time for second guessing. There's no time for tears. There's no time for distractions. There's no time to get prepared. Make up your mind about what you want to do and whose team you're fighting on. See, the thing is, the trumpet to grab the kings and queens' attention, who had listened immediately and put on their crowns for war, they had their meeting back in 2020. This right here is the last call. Because of how quickly this battle is coming, the timing to get in position is thinner than you think. If you aren't positioned soon, you won't be prepared for what's coming. Winter is coming. And it sounds funny as a reference, but it's the truth. Look at the kingdoms around you. Look at the villages of who they gathered to stand with them. Get together and move accordingly, because it's time. Are you ready to give your yes? As always, I love you guys. I am your host, Deja Terry, and you have been listening to the Ellipsis podcast. Have a great night, and I'll catch you in the next one.